Alright, this next video is going to be changing out the brake booster on this truck. Like I said, I've been having problems with braking issues with this truck. I'll drive go up like in traffic. I'll apply the brakes the first time and they're good. Second time they get a little bit firm. By the third time, they start getting a little iffy, almost non-existent. I had to practically almost stand on the brake pedal in order to have good stopping power. So I'm suspecting it's probably going to be the brake booster, and went ahead and we're going to go ahead and just replace it because it's an old truck, needs to be replaced anyway. So some of these parts I know is to a lot of people it's going to be, oh, I'm just throwing parts at it, but I don't see it like that. If you don't really have the money for it, but I mean, yeah, I'd see it like that, but not saying that I'm big cash or anything like that. But you know, there's a little money for this truck, so they just routine maintenance and upgrades. I mean, you know, if I could replace it for a good price, then I'm gonna go ahead and just replace it, even though, you know, it doesn't need replacing right now. Like I said, it is an old truck. It's a 20-something-year-old truck. It's a 19, whatever. You do the math. It's 95, and we're in 2019. So that's a 24-year-old truck. There you go. 24-year-old truck. 25 if you actually count that they made this at the end of 95. So here it is. We're about to start taking out the brake booster. Here goes your master cylinder, this reservoir right here, and what's holding it on. You have three. There they go, right there. You got 3 nuts holding this on, 2 right here, and on the other side you have the. You can see this. It's like a little clamp for the brake lines, the middle brake lines, and the other nut is on top of that one, holding it on to these bolts right here. And as soon as, what I had to do is I had to take off this middle piece, the boot right here, so I can have better access. You know, it's really nothing. You take it off with a flathead screwdriver, undo the bands. After you take it off, you wiggle this off a little bit, and it's loose right now because I already did the back, but this vacuum hose connects right here. You just basically gonna disconnect that one, and this is your booster, your brake booster, and we'll check it out from the inside. And you can see right there, that's the inside of the cab. That's the brake booster, and it's held on with the same. Luckily, you don't have to go through a whole bunch of tools to try to get through this. But this is a 14mm, and the tools you're gonna need to do the inside job, you're gonna need a vice grip, maybe a long vice grip, long screwdriver. Don't mind this piece right now. Your regular ratchet, and maybe a couple of extensions, it don't matter, and a swivel. This part right here actually attaches up there. I want to disconnect the electrical to it first before you take it off. Then this pin, this little pin right here, keeps everything in place from sliding off. So you see where that hole on the brake pedal is right here. That's where the pin goes through. But this is your brake cylinder and the rod that connects to the brakes. So this goes through a hole in here, and that rod holds everything together. After you finish taking, there's 4 bolts right here. One, I don't know if you can see it. There you go. There's all 4 that you could probably see. And after you take those off, everything's downhill from there. Now, after you get everything loosened up, taken apart, make sure this vacuum hose is off before you start pulling it off. Master cylinder's out the way enough. You can go ahead and start pulling the brake booster out. And we're going to test it. Here's a small way to test it out here. I'll show you in a second. That was a new brake booster. I know I was going to say I was going to let y'all see how you test it when it's out of the truck. So I just do it with this real quick. So what you're gonna want to do, just my luck, it's starting to rain. What you want to do is you're gonna push this rod in. When you push the rod in, you cover it with your thumb, or you could take this. You could take this valve off and this vacuum and cover it up with your thumb while you push it in. I'm not gonna try to attempt to do this with one hand while I'm recording. And if you hear any hissing or anything like that, then you already know you need a new brake booster. I just went to go pick this up at Advanced Auto Parts, and I'm about to put it in the truck. As soon as it's not raining too bad, but it's coming down a little bit. But as soon as it slows down, I'll start putting this in. Basically, putting this in is going to be the same thing as whenever you were pulling it out, just everything in reverse. A lot of this stuff isn't real rocket science, but I guess maybe to some people it is. But I just slapped it on right now, and now there's 4 bolts that hold it in place from inside the cab, and we're gonna put that on right now. To put it in those 4 screws and that pin from the inside of the cab to keep the booster in place, you're gonna slip the master cylinder back on. You're gonna put these 14mm nuts on, and there's one, there's another side, and then there's that clip that goes on it. And after you finish buttoning it up, we're done. Well, that's gonna be it with the brake booster install on the Rhino. Now, after installing the brake booster, I went ahead and took the truck for a test drive, and I was still basically having the same issue of the hard brake pedal. After a couple presses, after pumping the brake pedal, it's still a little bit on the firm side. It did help a little bit compared to what it used to be, but it's just another issue that chasing down. So with these trucks, you gotta understand it. There's a few things that go along with these brake lines. There's the braking system. You have the master cylinder brake booster. You have the metal lines going to all 4 corners. You have the rubber lines going to the vacuum pump, and you also have the ABS hydraulic assembly. And I think the next thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and buy a vacuum pump and make a video. Maybe make a video of putting the vacuum pump on. But we'll see how that goes. I'll take a picture of the hydraulic assembly, and basically what it does is proportions out the fluid, especially to the rear wheels, but it proportions out the fluid, so it'll be even all the way across. And I'll take a picture where it's at right here on the driver's side. If you look behind this frame right here exactly, it's almost where your oil filter is at. Around right behind right here is where it's gonna be located. I'll add a picture of it right now, and we'll go ahead and close out this video. Peace out.